compared to President Trump. He publicly attacked the House's impeachment inquiry, calling it, quote, constitutional.
You know how back in April, you got to you got to unbox, you unboxed a silver play button. Yeah.
As just discussed.
Is that right? Yeah, that was for passing 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, wasn't it? I told you if you hit 1 million subscribers, you'd get a gold one.
To participate.
And then you flipped the silver play button over. Do you remember that? Do you want the next one? Yeah? We have to get to 1 million subscribers. Well, I got some news for you, Key. You have. You've hit 1 million subscribers. It's a good thing. Yeah, you've got the gold play button. Yeah, you can see it.
We know there's something
What do you
going on
think?
with the Vardwar and the Cartella system.
I get it.
We haven't been able to know.
That's really hard.
Would you have time to look into something for me?
You've hit 1 million subscribers, Key. What do you think of it? Is it good? I know you're good, but is the play button good? The gold one, yeah? When you reach 10 million subscribers, you get...
The Var Fortress ship is vulnerable. It's time to attack.
Like and subscribe now. Comment your name below to enter in the $20 Xbox Live and PSN giveaway. Only on Johnny McEnroe's YouTube channel.
Ah! Democratic House managers are making their final arguments in the impeachment trial of President Trump. Tomorrow, Saturday, it's the Trump legal team's turn. The president's lawyers will get to respond to the week of attacks from Democrats. Take a look.
This presidential stonewalling of Congress is unprecedented in the 238-year history of our constitutional republic. It puts even President Nixon to shame.
If the truth doesn't matter, we're lost. No constitution can protect us. Right doesn't matter anymore.
President Trump tried to cheat. He got caught. And then he worked hard to cover it up. The partisanship has been running hot all week. It looks like neither side willing to break from their position. Yesterday's argument by the House managers was precise, was dramatic, was emotional.
I don't know about you, but it became mind-numbing after a while.
I look around at the Republican members. A lot of what they're hearing, they don't want to hear. They don't want to hear the true facts.
I got the general point you're trying to make. The fourth time you go. So they're over-trying their case, and I would just urge them to not do that, because eventually it gets just hard to follow.
Jesse, tomorrow I think people are trying to figure out exactly how the president team, because as I understand, they're going to have just about 2 or 3 hours beginning at 10 a.m. going forward. What do you expect?
Well, I expect amazing performances by the defense team on dazzling. A thrill's going to go up my leg. And I wanted to talk to you in a language that only you understand, Juan, and that is the language of polling. Because the first poll came out from ABC News, Washington Post, after all this garbage we heard all week, and guess what, Juan? To use your words, guess what?
Guess what?
51% say, do not remove the president. Only 45% say it. 58% say he's getting fair trial. And his approval rating is at 47%. So, like we saw in the House, the longer the American public listens to these Democrats drone on and on and on, support for impeachment drops. Now,
we don't quit, we don't give in, we don't stop, we don't settle lawsuits.
Limiting what Project Veritas does, that would have been a great outcome as well.
AFT Michigan, Project Veritas at all?
I'm asking you, David Hecker, what was your purpose in filing a lawsuit on behalf of AFT against Project Veritas?
To have the lawsuit in any way possible stop Project Veritas from doing the kind of work that it does, and to, as part of that, to compensate AFT Michigan for damages.
Project Veritas is under attack, but don't worry, we're fighting back. In September of 2017, the Michigan branch of the American Federation of Teachers filed a complaint and obtained a temporary restraining order against Project Veritas in an attempt to prevent us from releasing an undercover investigation we had into their activities. That's right, we filed a temporary restraining order against us from publishing journalism that we did. Now, they were so afraid of what we might have on them, they foolishly tried to stop the publication. I guess the AFT isn't aware of a little thing called the First Amendment. Now, this absurd restraining order was vacated, and in May of 2018, we released this video. Last Friday, lawyers for the American Federation of Teachers in Michigan tried again in federal court to stop us from releasing our undercover investigation into their activities. Just yesterday, the federal judge again ruled in our favor, and today, we released part 1 of that investigation into the AFT activities in Michigan. It is a troubling story about the union and a teacher accused of molesting a child. To their peril, the AFT decided to pursue a case against us. Discovery and depositions followed. This admission came from an under-oath deposition of AFT Michigan's President David Hecker about AFT's true motives.
If a result of it was also in some way slowing down or limiting what Project Veritas does, that would have been a great outcome as well, or will be a great outcome as well.
In July of 2018, AFT Michigan issued a press release full of ad hominem attacks on Project Veritas and a declaration of their true motives in furthering the lawsuit. Quote, a federal judge has issued a crucial ruling allowing AFT to gather information
concerning Hickory Project Veritas as legal and financial pressure on the embattled outfit mounts. Were you at any point in time concerned with how much legal and financial pressure was mounting on Project Veritas?
There's some relevance.
Did you have any discussions with anyone outside of your attorneys, others at AFT Michigan, about whether or not you could cause Project Veritas to receive financial pressures?
Of course it's going to cost Project Veritas money, yes, that, right? But that's not, we didn't sit down and say, let's concoct a lawsuit so we could make them spend a lot of money.
I think you mentioned earlier that if that's a side effect of it, then all the better, essentially.
I'm no fan of Project Veritas.
What should be both shocking and disturbing to the union's members is the frivolous lawsuit is costing the union thousands upon thousands of dollars, and the national members are footing the bill.
What resources does AFT Michigan have at its disposal? Do you use member dues to help pay for this litigation?
Yes.
Is AFT National helping pay for the litigation?
Yes.
Oh,
sorry.
Was Randy Weingarten involved in those consultations with AFT National?
She would have been involved in some discussions.
Boom! You just saw the president of AFT Michigan admit in a deposition that Randy Weingarten, president of the national AFT, is involved in this litigation. They're obviously trying to stop us, bankrupt us, humiliate us, break our will. Well, guess what? Today, I'm sitting through a deposition by AFT Michigan lawyers, and our legal team is going to serve AFT National President Randy Weingarten with a subpoena to answer our questions in the videotape deposition. And let me tell you this, Randy, when it comes to deposition questions. We have a life. You might expect us to roll over or give up or quit or settle, or you think that you're going to break our will by subjecting us to all this litigation, deposing all of our employees. But you may have all this money, you may have all these people trying to hurt us, but you are not above the rule of law. We don't quit, we don't give in, we don't stop, we don't settle lawsuits, we don't compromise. We are 7-0 on litigation, and we are going to win this one.
That's one of the things that got Nixon in trouble. He fired the prosecutor. So here's what I saw yesterday. I saw an effort to ask the Senate to ignore every privilege that President Clinton was able to exercise, Nixon was able to exercise, and to suggest to the Senate that an independent judiciary really is a non-player.
tracking a large force incoming. Preparing defense station.
How about that?
Joe Rogan is being torn up by woke far leftists who are outraged that Bernie Sanders used a recent clip of Joe Rogan explaining why he liked Bernie for a campaign ad. There is so much to break down here. I got 1,000,001 tweets from verified blue check woke leftists screeching about how Joe Rogan is a white nationalist and alt-right and platforms bigots and all this insane nonsense. But then there are also some leftists, Bernie supporters, who are very, very excited that Joe Rogan basically had good words to say about Bernie Sanders. I'm also going to drag Bernie Sanders. This all started because Joe Rogan on his podcast, an off-the-cuff comment about how he was thinking about Bernie Sanders and might vote for him. It wasn't an official endorsement. Joe Rogan didn't announce a press conference. He was just having a conversation like he normally does, and he passively mentioned he was thinking about voting for Bernie. Quite literally saying, I think I'll probably vote for Bernie. So here's my drag of Bernie Sanders. Bernie then turned it into a commercial and even removed Tulsi Gabbard's name from the clip, where Rogan was actually, he mentioned that he liked Tulsi too. So here's what ends up happening. Bernie Sanders sees an opportunity to say that Joe Rogan is like praising him, turns it into a campaign ad, because, I mean, it's technically true, but it's kind of taking advantage of Joe in a certain sense. And now all these woke lefties who hate Joe are outraged because Joe is apparently, in their deluded minds, alt-right. And now you have Joe Rogan trending #1 on Twitter. It's actually an old image, so by now, if you go on Twitter, it's probably even more. But Joe Rogan's #1 in the United States. And as of right now, it's over 100,000 tweets talking about Joe Rogan, who has literally nothing to do with this controversy. Let me stress this one more time for you. Joe Rogan, chill.
our first